And now, live from the United Nations General Assembly, CSN's President, Azim Khamisa.
Brothers and sisters, dignitaries, salam alaikum. The truth be known, our children are not safe, not here in the richest nation in the world, and not anywhere else in the world. This is unacceptable. Children killing children is not a mark of a civil society. Mine is a personal story. 18 years ago, my only son, Tariq, a college student, was senselessly murdered by a 14-year-old gang member. The sudden, senseless death of an unarmed, innocent human being brought my life to a crashing halt. Although it was 18 years ago, those early days are etched deeply on my mind and my soul, and forever relived with every birthday, holiday, or even a glance at another innocent child that reminds me of my son. I went through all the emotions you might expect a parent: unbearable grief, hopelessness, and despair. I did not know how to live without my son. I found out I was not alone. According to the UNICEF data, 29,000 children die every day in the world. I took a different response to this tragedy. Instead of feelings of revenge, I saw that there were victims at both ends of the gun. It is easy to see my son was a victim of the 14-year-old gang member, but more difficult to see that the shooter is also a victim of our society. Who is the enemy here? Is it the 14-year-old who killed my son, or the societal forces that forced a young boy to join a gang at the age of 11, and at the age of 14, he killed my son to prove himself to the gang? 9 months after losing my son, I formed the Azim Khamisa Foundation, whose mission is to stop kids from killing kids by breaking the cycle of youth violence using our 3 mandates. First, to save lives of children. Second, to empower the right choices. And thirdly, to teach the principles of nonviolence, of goodwill, of empathy, of compassion, of forgiveness, and more importantly, of peacemaking. Violence is a learned behavior. If you accept that as a truism, nonviolence can also be a learned behavior. But you have to teach it, as children will not learn these principles through osmosis. Soon after forming the foundation, I invited the grandfather and guardian of my son's killer to join me in my anti-violence work. We are still together 18 years later, and we will be together doing this work for the rest of our lives. 14 years ago, I invited my son's killer to join us. He too is committed to make certain other children do not follow in his former footsteps. We have saved him, and in turn, he is saving other young souls by sharing his remorseful testimony. The most exciting fact for me, after doing this work for 18 years and having reached over 8 million kids worldwide, is that these principles are not only teachable, our children are hungry for them. Isn't that exciting? We are successfully keeping kids away from gangs, violence, guns, drugs, and alcohol. We have created a solution to prevent youth violence. My second nonprofit endeavor was co-creating the CANI program, which is an acronym for Constant and Never-Ending Improvement, with the National Youth Advocate Program based in Ohio. CANI is an intervention program. While the state prison systems produces recidivism rates north of 80%, the CANI program, currently operating in 8 cities, produces a recidivism rate of under 30% at only 10% of the cost of incarceration. Hence, we are saving 70% of the youth that graduate from our program and saving 90% of the money that would have been spent if they ended up in the juvenile justice system. We have earned the nation's best track record for reducing repeat offenders. Thank you. And I strongly believe this program has the legs to deal with the challenges of child soldiers, a major UN challenge, as much of the issues are the same. When my son was alive, I worked as a financial advisor for the Child Safety Network. CSN was the one organization that was able to find my son's killer and help bring him to justice. And now, 18 years later, after delivering this message all over the world and authoring 4 books on this topic, it is my great honor to return to CSN as their president. Besides violence, kids face a plethora of other dangers, and with new technology come new dangers. CSN has always remained on the cutting edge of these dangers, using every resource available to help parents raise safer, healthier children. In fact, over the last 24 years, CSN has been making America a safer place for children to live. Our mission is to reduce the likelihood of children becoming victims of abuse, abduction, exploitation, and injury. We accomplish our mission by developing and implementing educational safety programs on a global basis. CSN acts as a true network when it comes to implementation. We have worked with the world's largest service organization, as well as local, state, and federal agencies to accomplish this goal. Over 250 US representatives, including the current and past presidential administrations, have endorsed CSN's efforts. CSN was founded by my good friend and lifelong children advocate, Ward Lieber. I share his vision to create an international center for child safety and parenting. I will be spearheading the creation of the International Center, where all the organizations, including the 2 I have founded, will come together in a single effort to address issues that matter most to children, youth, and family. While no one organization has the complete solution, I truly believe collectively we do have the complete solution. I'm proud to say that we are collaborating with the National PTA, with whom CSN has had a 20-plus year relationship under the capable leadership of Arthur Thornton, and the effective work they are doing in the anti-bullying program, Connect to Respect, and the Every Child in Focus program that helps families, educators, PTS transcend barriers to deepen family engagement by featuring a diverse population each month to celebrate their cultural distinctions and achievement. The International Child will be featured in August of 2014. Also, I'm proud to be working with my good friend and role model, Marian Wright Edelman, the CEO and founder of the Children's Defense Fund, who has been advocating for children for over 40 years, and just like CSN, has never taken a penny from the US government. I would like to extend an invitation to those in the audience who are working with children, youth, and parents to join our efforts. My journey has been of forgiveness. The destination I've arrived today is of peace. 18 years ago, I chose forgiveness instead of revenge and had no clue that I would be doing the work that I've just shared with you or even addressing the United Nations. So how is this relevant to the UN and the high-level forum on the culture of peace? The UN's major focus is peace and security. I have written and spoken extensively of how to shift conflict into unity. My partner, who is my son's killer, is a Christian, and I practice as a Sufi Muslim. We would not have met had his grandson not killed my son, and now we are brothers. In conflict, the danger is to create more conflict. But also in conflict, there lies the opportunity to create unity, as exemplified by my relationship with the grandfather of my son's killer. I have created a proven process and a training of how to accomplish that through the practice of empathy, compassionate confrontation, forgiveness, and redemption. Through CSN, I offer this process to the United Nations in the spirit of collaboration to meet the UN mandate of peace and security, and wholeheartedly invite you to join us, especially in the work with children, youth, and families. As taught by Martin Luther King Jr., those who love peace must learn to organize as effectively as those who love war. Those who love peace must learn to effectively organize as those who love war. Historically, nonprofit organizations and agencies have not been effective in collaborating. The center will provide incentives to collaborate, such as financial support, a venue free of rent, back office support, research, and allow all parents to visit the center through streaming video and free online parenting classes. Similar resources will be available in age-appropriate best practice material for our children and youth. We will provide links to the collaborating organizations that have created successful programs around the globe with one simple goal: to keep our children safe. More importantly, the various partnerships that will be formed by diverse organizations will help produce better outcomes and impact public policy to create real social transformation, a society where children are safe and thriving. It is the right of our children to be safe, and the collective duty of everyone in the sound of my voice to make that happen. Thank you.
That was a riveting testimony. Peace began in the heart of Mr. Azim Khamisa as an individual. Breaking the cycle of violence requires the full participation and initiative of the individual. I think this reinforces the remarks I made, the opening remarks I made. This is what you have demonstrated, and we have derived a lot of goodness from your insight. Thank you.